question is, the 1.9 million, is that include all three buildings? And what is the schedule of completion of all three buildings? Projected schedule.
The 1.9 million includes this building. The community center basically will be completed under CapEx, right? So that's underway and that'll be done. Now the third phase is the welcome center, and no, we're not planning our funds of 1.9 on the welcome center at this point, but the welcome center is ours at this point. The welcome center probably will not be ours for at least another year.
But you're moving facilities from this building to the welcome center. So I would think that for this community to vote on this, we would need to know when that is going to occur and what that budget will be.
Well, telling you when it'll occur when the building is turned over to us, and we can do that. You want an exact date? I can't tell you.
The vote is only for redoing the clubhouse. And basically from this wall here, that way.
So there are no improvements over on the other side for that 1.9.
That's correct. There are improvements that are being paid elsewhere, not on 1.9.
So the fitness center and everything else stays.
Yes, that's correct.
The second question I've got is you talk about revenue, and all due respect to you, I think you've done a good job here. As you were discussing revenue, all I could think of was if we go and take it. Has there been any advance forecasts to what the actual revenues are projected to be if they're on the banquet side? And in particular, are the improvements that are being made here to the ballroom and the kitchen, do they meet that demand from the community? And it also ties into your market.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that question?
On your revenue side, in particular, do you have a demand forecast of what is the demand for banquet facilities in this community, in this area, and do the improvements to this building and that kitchen meet those demands? Let's go back to marketing this facility outside banquets.
Yeah, I mean, we're in a very competitive market as far as banquets go. You have several places like Saddlebrook and Temple Ponds, which are probably on the higher end. And you have us in there somewhere in the middle. I've been to their facilities, you know, the atmosphere is, you know, a lot nicer, more conducive to higher end type events. We are anticipating, and I really haven't done a performing yet, but I think Dave did you do a 5-year performa?
Didn't do anything.
Yeah, any increases. But from just, we anticipate, and I'm pretty sure with a good marketing plan that we will develop, that we will definitely increase our individual cover price on banquets. We can command a higher price, and we can attract a lot more banquet business in here to help generate revenue. I mean, our profit margin on banquets is our greatest profit margin. The day-to-day operations that we do, our prices are pretty reasonable. We don't, you know, have much profit margin on the day-to-day business, but the banquets is where the profitability is. And I am certain that we can definitely increase our banquet business by changing the decor of this room, offering more services that the prospective brides or people parties by having plated options or hors d'oeuvre options that sometimes we can't do. We always do buffets here. Our bar service will definitely be improved by having a bar that people can go to, so that will increase our bar business as well. And then, I mean, the best type of advertising is word of mouth. Some people, they come here, they see a beautiful facility, they were serviced well, the food was good, consistent. It will definitely increase and impact our revenues.
I think by the next meeting, we'll be able to answer that question a lot better. What do you think, Paul?
Yes.
We can give you more detail.
I think we need some hard numbers as far as what the demand is, what the projections are based on historical use.
Absolutely.
And whether or not the improvements we're making will actually meet those demands. Because if they don't meet demands, and you get additional maintenance in here, then why are we spending more?
I would like to ask a question. There's a group that you mentioned that was investigating the cost of taking care of golf courses. And there was so many $1,000s that cost to replace the greens. And a lot of other committees around the golf course. But one thing was not mentioned, I think is very important, is the fact that the ponds in this community are going down the drain. They're not being maintained. The grass is growing over top of them. They're actually not being taken care of. They grow grass that grows 8 feet tall. It grows 8 feet tall. You can't see. You knock out the view. A lot of people are complaining about that.
Okay, we appreciate that, Steve, and I appreciate that point. And I wondered when the ponds were going to come up. That always happens. But Paul, again, is involved in that, and we're making strides. Ponds have been a problem since I've lived here. They probably will be a problem to a degree after I've gone.
Just a quick update, there was a pond committee that was formed. We've improved our lines of communication with our pond maintenance company as well. The drainage areas have all been sprayed out with the first application. We've already been removing on 14 some high growth and vegetation. And on number 14, number 8, we're going to be working on 2. We just put a new biolamp system to help control the algae in our big irrigation pond. There has been improvement on some of the holes, and we're still working on the other ones, but there's definitely been some improvement in this whole community as far as the ponds go from a month ago. And we are aware of them, and we're working hard to get them better maintained.
Well, I just want to mention hole 13 and 14. I live between those two holes. In the back is a waterway that leads to the pond on 13 from 14. It was dug out 2 years ago. But the point is, it's all grown in now, and the drain behind my house comes from the street. This last rain, that it was already flooding into the street because it's all growing up around that drain, and it's not letting the water come out, and it bubbles like a geyser out there. It's growing closed. So what are you going to do if the water raises up until people's homes?
Well, Dennis and I can go out and take a look at it, and I know it was dug out. I think it was being dug out when I first got here a couple of years ago. We can take a look at it, and I'll have to coordinate things with Gail too, because the ponds are under the Master Association. Take a look at it. If things need to be done, we can certainly, look at that and see what can be done about it.
Thank you, Steve.
Thanks, Paul.
Yeah, I'm Don Mountain from Harris Cove. I live next to the guy sitting up here in the yellow shirt. I am not a Duke fan or a Kentucky fan or Wichita State fan. We do get along. I have two quick questions. First of all, question about the committee. When you put this together, did you go out and tell them that we had $1.9 million to spend with our designers? Or did we go out and say we have $1.3 million to spend, come up with a plan for the 1.3? Did we go for the gusto, first of all, or did we go with what money we had on hand without borrowing $600,000?
I can't answer that. We went with what we thought was the right thing to do for the community, which included the $600,000 loan. Okay. So we're in a very fortunate position, and we wouldn't even be talking about this if the state wasn't widening State Route 52. So that helps. But yeah, we thought that was the right thing to do. If there's resistance to that, that's fine, and people have to vote their hearts.
Okay. And the second question goes right along with what you said with the state widening 52. From what I understand, with building permits that have already been talked about with the Pasco County on State Route 52, that there's a possibility of 2 strip malls going in, one directly across the street and one to the left. Have we done any study to find out that if they put a Wendy's, McDonald's, pizzeria, Chinese restaurant there, to find out whether that's going to take away revenue from here that we're anticipating getting in your study? Thank you.
No.
Good afternoon. My name is Jim Hager. I live over on Motion Lane. I've lived in Tampa Bay for about 6 years. I've lived in Florida about 35 years. I've been in the construction hospitality business in Florida for 35 years. I'm a licensed building contractor. I'm a licensed community association manager. I manage 8 communities in the Tampa area currently. I have a statement more than a question. You that are involved in this probably know that virtually every other facility in our area is going through the same process right now. I have one off across Creek that I'm doing exactly the same thing with right now. I will tell you that the 1.9 is a reasonable number. The one thing that you have to look at is if you don't do this now, you are going to lose what business that you have currently, because everybody else, and I say that, it's a broad sweeping generalization, but it's true, is doing the same thing, whether it's Tampa Palms at the high end, or whether the ones that I'm doing now, that's kind of in the middle. Everybody else, now that the economy is turning, is looking at their facilities and spending money to upgrade them. I know a lot of people plan on dying here, but I don't think they plan on dying tomorrow. So, to look at the overall, from an economic perspective, to look at the overall value of your property, for either yourself or for your heirs, and I know some of us like our kids in some, well, maybe not so much, it's still facts that need to be considered. I come up here to parties. I was here the other night. I certainly wish that you would include an acoustical sound system in it. And those of us that were here understand. But without taking a lot more of your time, I want to thank you for your effort. I know what is involved. I spend many nights till 9, 10, 11 o'clock in these kinds of meetings. You can ask my wife, she'll tell you. And I think the community should commend you for your efforts. So thank you very much.
You really hit the nail on the head. We've discussed that many times. Our facilities are dated. If we don't keep up with competition, we're going to get more dated, more dated, more dated. If you were retiring now and you looked at the facilities that are being improved, and then you came to Tampa Bay and looked at our facilities and they weren't being improved, and you were going to buy a home, where would you buy the home? I know where I'd buy the home. I wouldn't buy it in a dated place that looks like it's on its way down. I would buy it where there's something to update and stay current. That's my opinion. I really appreciate everybody coming. I don't see any more questions. And we'll see you next month.